Kirn Review, print speaking to the blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @QuenReview. That is @CuenDreview. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@quenreview.com. That is INFORMATION @CuenDreview.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This week's Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald podcast is published on the 5th of February 2025 and read to you by volunteers Corey, Hunter, Ian, Jahan and Nikki. And we hope you enjoyed the podcast. Bank closures in both towns. Report by Kevin McRoberts. Bank of Scotland has announced plans to close its branches in both Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs. The bank says the decision is based on a fall in the numbers visiting the two branches and a greater reliance by customers on online banking. But the bank's decision has been condemned by local politicians, who have warned of the detrimental impact on members of the community who rely on face-to-face banking services. The Kirkintilloch branch at Cowgate is due to close on May 22nd this year, with the Bishopbriggs branch on Kirkintilloch Road set to close next year on March 4th. The closure in Bishopbriggs will leave the town without a recognised High Street bank branch. A Bank of Scotland spokesperson said, "As many customers now choose to bank through their app or online, visits to our Bishopbriggs and Kirkintilloch branches have fallen over recent years. Customers can use the local post office for everyday banking and access cash at the nearby free-to-use ATMs. Customers can also manage their money on our app, online, by calling us or at the new banking hub in Bishopbriggs once it is up and running." The bank says more than 83% of its personal customers of the two branches already use other ways of banking, such as mobile, internet or phone banking, as well as other branches, and that it is contacting customers to let them know about the alternative local banking services available. All branch closures are subject to an independent industry assessment by Link. As part of this assessment, a new banking hub has been recommended for Bishopbriggs by Link. Banking hubs have a traditional banking counter, run by the post office, where customers of main UK banks can deposit and withdraw cash, pay in cheques and check balances. Community bankers from the UK's largest banks also visit the banking hubs, providing help with more specialised services. In the run-up to the branch's closing, branch staff will be on hand to offer support and guidance on the ways customers can bank with Bank of Scotland. After the branches close, it will have a community banker visit Kirkintilloch, who will continue to offer face-to-face targeted support. The bank said it will consult with local communities on which locations would be appropriate for its community banker to be set up in, and on which days. Once the Kirkintilloch branch closes, Bank of Scotland says the nearest branch will be in Cumbernauld, just over 7 miles away. It adds some everyday banking services will be available at the post office on Cowgate, but some restrictions apply. For Bishopbriggs, the nearest branch will be nearly 4 miles away on Sauchiehall Street, Glasgow. Again, the Bank of Scotland says some services will be available in the town's post office on Kirkintilloch Road. And that article was written by Kevin McRoberts and read by Ian McKenna. This week in history. February the 6th, 1983. Nazi fugitive Klaus Barbie was charged in Lyon, France with crimes against humanity. February 7, 1976. Two women made sporting history. Joan Baisley became the first woman referee of an all-male football match at Croydon, and Diana Thorne became the first woman jockey to win under national hunt rules. On this day last year, The Prince of Wales carried out his first official engagement since his father, the King, was diagnosed with cancer, and his wife, the Princess of Wales, underwent surgery. February 8th, 1976. 14 British mercenaries died by firing squad in Angola. On this day last year, the Prince of Wales spoke about the King's cancer diagnosis for the first time as he expressed his gratitude to the public for their kind messages of support. February 9th, 1964. Beatlemania gripped America as around 70 million tuned in to see the Fab Four on the Ed Sullivan Show. February 10th, 1962. In Berlin, US spyplane pilot Gary Powers, shot down by the Russians, was exchanged for KGB agent Rudolf Abel, captured in New York 5 years earlier. On this day last year, the Lunar New Year was celebrated, kicking off the Year of the Dragon. And that was This Week in History.
Bank Bosses Are Urged to Think Again by Kevin McRoberts. Local MSP Rona Mackay has raised concerns regarding the upcoming closures of the Bank of Scotland branches in Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs, warning of the impact of this decision on members of the community who rely on those services. Lloyds Banking Group, which owns the Bank of Scotland, announced the Kirkintilloch branch will close on May 22nd this year, with the Bishopbriggs branch closing on March 4th, 2026. Ms Mackay, SNP MSP for Strathkelvin and Bearsden, said the two branches provide crucial services to local residents, and their closure risks harming those in the local community who rely on face-to-face banking services. Bank of Scotland has announced plans to close a number of other branches across the country, and along with fellow SNP MSPs, Ms Mackay is seeking a meeting with Lloyds Banking Group to discuss the potential impacts of its decision and to obtain further details regarding support for those affected. Ms Mackay said, "This news will be very worrying for those who rely on Bank of Scotland branch services in Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs. While some assurances have been given regarding deposit and cash access services, I am deeply concerned about the potential impact of this closure on members of the community who rely on these services. I am urgently seeking a meeting with the Bank of Scotland to understand the impact of this decision on my constituents, and my office is on hand to support constituents if needed." Paul O'Kane, Scottish Labour MSP for West Scotland, is also calling on Lloyds Group to rethink its decision. He said, "Like many people, I was deeply disappointed and dismayed by the announcement that Bank of Scotland will be closing its branches in Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs. Constituents have already been contacting me with concerns that this will either leave them unable to access in-person services or facing long and inconvenient journeys to their nearest branch. So many people rely on a high street branch to access cash, information and advice. Losing these services will be particularly felt by our small businesses and older generations who struggle with online banking services. I have written to the Lloyds Banking Group to request a meeting to raise these worries and to Scottish Government ministers to encourage them to engage with the bank to understand what support will be in place." Pam Gozal, Scottish Conservative MSP for the West Scotland, also expressed her disappointment over the upcoming branch closures. "I understand that many local residents rely on these branches to serve their banking needs and call upon the Bank of Scotland to reverse this decision," she said. "Many residents, especially our most vulnerable ones, are not comfortable using online banking platforms and prefer to get help and advice in person. That is why I have written a letter to the Scottish Government asking them to work with the Bank of Scotland to ensure these branches stay open." That article was written by Kevin McRoberts and it was read by Jahan.
Teachers taking action over abuse and violence, a report by Kevin McRoberts. Teachers at Kirkintilloch High School are taking industrial action amid claims they have been blamed and gaslit by management over the poor behaviour of pupils. Members of the union, NASUWT, at the school said they had repeatedly raised concerns, but were told their lessons were not exciting enough. This week, teachers are beginning a programme of action over failure of their employers to act to address poor pupil behaviour and abusive teachers. This will involve members refusing to cover classes for absent colleagues. They will also refuse to undertake any additional voluntary duties, such as extracurricular clubs, trips or study classes, which are outside of their contracted working hours. Their concerns include regular verbal abuse and swearing at teachers, and some violent incidents, pupils being allowed to roam around corridors and shared spaces in the school when they should be in class, no serious consequences for poor behaviour, and an overuse of ineffective restorative approaches to managing incidents of abuse. Mike Corbett, NASUWT Scotland national official, said, "Members feel blamed and gaslit by management for their poor behaviour of pupils. They report being told at debriefing meetings that their lessons are not fun or engaging enough. A culture where there are no consequences for poor behaviour is not setting up pupils well for adult life and fails the employer's duty of care towards its staff. The continued failure of the employer to take the concerns of our members seriously and act on them with any urgency means we have been left with no option than to begin a campaign of industrial action. We will not let our members be left exposed to abuse and violence." Dr. Patrick Roach, NASUWT General Secretary, said, "The union has been seeking to engage in negotiations with the employers for some months, but there was no evidence to date that the issues raised were being treated with urgency or seriousness." Dr. Roach said, "We are calling on the employer to engage meaningfully with us as a matter of urgency to ensure that effective measures are put in place to address the behaviour problems that have been identified by our members." Rod McCready, NASUWT National Executive Member for Eastern Bartonshire, added, "The refusal to undertake cover will help to protect members from abuse and violence because there is typically no established relationship with pupils in such classes. In a school where there is a culture of abuse and violence from pupils, our members are not willing at the present time to put themselves at further risk by taking such classes." Anne Davey, Chief Executive of Eastern Bartonshire Council, said the local authority was aware of the proposed action. She said, "We have fully engaged with the school management regarding NASUWT staff concerns, and we are currently in discussions with the union to try to resolve the issues they have brought forward." That report was by Kevin McRoberts and spoken by me, Nikki.
House buying rules relaxed, as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. Eastern Bartonshire Council is to widen the range of housing it is willing to buy on the open market in a bid to provide more opportunities for tenants in the area. In 2018, the Council established a list of requirements which needed to be met before it would attempt to buy homes on the open market. But it has now relaxed some of these restrictions due to the pressures of demand and increasing prices. A £250,000 price cap has now been removed to allow for the purchasing of properties in high demand areas, and a requirement that the house should previously have been owned by the local authority has also been scrapped. Officers will also now be allowed to purchase flats in blocks, where this would give it a majority share of the block rather than the purchase resulting in a full ownership of the building. Homes within areas that were subject to stock transfer of former council assets and former Scottish Housing Association properties will now be considered viable options for purchase. And it may also be necessary to consider purchasing homes with existing private tenants in certain situations, such as to prevent homelessness. Council has agreed to the proposed changes which are now in effect. Since 2018, officers have successfully purchased around 104 properties, making a significant contribution to the supply of affordable housing in East Dunbartonshire, spending £12.4 million and attracting £6.5 million in Scottish Government grant funding. Reduction in speed limit. New speed limits on roads between Torrance and Mulgai are to be implemented, restricting traffic to 30 miles an hour. The new limits will be imposed on the A807 Auchenhowie Road, Balmore Road and Torrance Road, following a traffic order from East Dunbartonshire Council. Minor stretches of road also encompassed in the traffic order include the approaches to the Allender Toll roundabout and the B8049 Beauclair Road. The measures are part of the Council's A807 Active Travel Corridor project, which aims to make travel by other means of transport, such as walking or cycling, safer and more enjoyable. It was recommended that councillors formally approve the order after a Traffic Management Appeals Board meeting held in December upheld the terms of the order, and this was unanimously agreed at a recent committee meeting.
Check out Road Design, a report by Kevin McRoberts. Residents, community groups and businesses are being offered the chance to access the latest information on a road that aims to cut congestion and boost business in Bishopbriggs. As part of its requirements under the Planning Scotland Act, East Dunbartonshire Council is carrying out pre-application public consultation on the Wester Hill Development Road, previously referred to as Phase 5 of the Bishopbriggs Relief Road. Information was made available and feedback sought via an online web page, story map and public drop-in session in November 2024. A second drop-in event is now being held in the War Memorial Hall, Balmaldy Road, Bishopbriggs, on Monday, February 10, 4 to 7 p.m. The Triskelion design team and council officers will be on hand to explain the proposed route and answer any questions. If you can't attend, you can access information and get in touch via the webpage www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/WDR-2025, which will be live from Friday, February 7 to Friday, February 28. Alternatively, you can email citydeal@eastdunbarton.gov.uk or call 0300 123 4510. There will be an opportunity to submit representations to the Council as the local planning authority when an application is submitted. The road, proposed for land to the north of Wester Hill Road, Bishopbriggs, is part of the Council's £34.88 million Place and Growth Programme, supported by the UK and Scottish Governments through the Glasgow City Region City Deal. Councillor Gordon Lowe, leader of East Dunbartonshire Council, said, "I would encourage local residents, community groups and businesses to find out more about the proposed design of the Wester Hill Development Road. A story map will be available online via our website www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/WDR bishopbriggs-2025, and you can also contact the team. In addition, a second drop-in event is being held in Bishopbriggs War Memorial Hall on Monday, February 10, as part of the process prior to a planning application being submitted. The aim of the new road is to help boost the local economy by unlocking strategic sites in the Westerhill regeneration area, while reducing non-essential traffic in Bishopbriggs town centre, helping to alleviate air quality issues. Public consultation took place in May and June 2023 on potential plans for the final phase of the Bishopbriggs Relief Road, now known as the Westerhill Development Road, after which an option was selected and progressed. The City Deal project is taking an integrated approach to improve infrastructure within East Dunbartonshire with two main elements: Bishopbriggs Town Centre regeneration and delivery of the Westerhill Development Road and Master Plan for Westerhill. The overall completion date is the end of 2026. The Scottish Government is investing £520 million into the Glasgow City Region City Deal, with the UK Government providing funding of £524 million. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Praise for Effective Staff and Enthusiastic Pupils by Kevin McRoberts. Effective leadership and very positive relationships between staff and the confident and enthusiastic children were among the key findings following an inspection at Tweaker Primary School. A team of inspectors from Education Scotland and the Care Inspectorate visited the primary school, which has a roll of 85 children across 5 classes, and the Early Learning Centre in November. Evaluated on a number of quality indicators, the school was rated satisfactory in 2 categories and good in 2 other categories, while the Early Learning Centre was rated good across all categories. Key strengths of the school identified in the inspection report include the effective leadership of the acting head teacher, senior leaders and staff. They were found to have a strong vision and clear plan for achieving positive outcomes for children in the school and early learning centre. Effective collaboration with a wide range of partners was also noted, with senior leaders and staff working well with partners to support children to develop important skills and knowledge and experience success. The very positive relationships between staff and children in the school and early learning centre also came in for praise, along with the staff's nurturing approaches, which supported the children's well-being and helped ensure they felt included and cared for. The children were found to be confident and enthusiastic and proud of their school and early learning centre. They were also keen to share and celebrate their successes and achievements. Areas for improvement, which have been discussed with the head teacher and a representative from East Dunbartonshire Council, included the need for senior leaders to continue to develop effective approaches to promoting the children's well-being in line with national guidance. Developing consistent, high-quality approaches to learning, teaching and assessment were also highlighted, with this supporting senior leaders and teachers to better meet the needs of all children. Senior leaders should also work to raise attainment in literacy and numeracy and ensure staff support and challenge all children effectively. Inspectors concluded that they were confident the school had the capacity to continue to improve and no further visits would be required in connection with this inspection. That article was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Number of potholes is astonishing. A report by Kevin McRoberts. The number of potholes recorded in East Dunbartonshire in recent years has been described by a West of Scotland MSP as astonishing. Responses to a series of Freedom of Information requests from the Scottish Conservatives have revealed that over 400,000 potholes have been reported to Scotland's councils since 2021. The true figure is likely to be even higher, as one local authority did not respond, while another did not provide figures for this year. In East Dunbartonshire, a total of 17,625 potholes have been recorded since 2021-22, with Scottish Conservative and Unionist MSP Pam Gosal placing the blame firmly on the SNP Scottish Government's savage cuts to local council budgets. Ms Gosal claimed the cuts year after year to East Dunbartonshire Council's budget has resulted in local roads which are crumbling, while motorists are paying a heavy price for the lack of maintenance. She added that the state of the roads in East Dunbartonshire was appalling and that potholes were one of the most common complaints in her MSP inbox. Ms Gosal said, "The SNP's savage cuts to local council budgets mean they simply don't have the resources needed to repair the pot-ridden holes. As a result, we are seeing an astonishing number of potholes being reported by local motorists, and I know from my own inbox that potholes are one of the most common sources of complaints I receive from constituents. Our local roads are crumbling and motorists are paying a heavy price. They are having to dodge potholes every time they jump in the car. They are virtually unavoidable. It is time for the SNP to finally give councils a fair funding deal to ensure the number of potholes in our roads in East Dunbartonshire is drastically reduced, rather than the number recorded continuing to spiral out of control. East Dunbartonshire Council's roads team is responsible for maintaining and repairing over 300 miles of public roads and footways. Although regular inspections are carried out, some road faults, such as potholes, will occur between inspections. To report a road fault, go to www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/report-it. That report was by Kevin McRoberts.
Speaking Out on Climate Change by Kevin McRoberts. A team of students from an East Dunbartonshire secondary school have come out on top in a climate change challenge. The S2 students from Lenzie Academy captured the hearts and minds of judges of the Use Your Voice competition with their passionate short films on climate action. The Use Your Voice campaign aims to inspire young people to engage with climate education, understanding the issues, and empowering them to take action using communication skills. Its resources can be used by eco-clubs, youth groups, or as part of the science curriculum, and are free to download from Protect Our Future, a climate education programme of the 1851 Trust, who set up the competition together with Open Planet, a global visual library for creating positive change. Lenzie Academy will invest their £1,000 prize in an educational initiative focused on championing sustainability and biodiversity by building an apiary to host beehives on their school grounds. Teacher Heather Ellis said, "We encouraged our pupils to enter this competition to drive positive change in our community. We felt the Use Your Voice concept was very empowering and helped highlight the impact an individual can have. The project provided an innovative and engaging way for them to learn about climate change, allowing learners to explore environmental and social impacts while developing creative solutions for a sustainable future." The students created their short films using footage from Open Planet, a free online library of over 12,000 powerful and inspiring film clips showing environmental issues and solutions. Open Planet is free to use for charities, schools and scientists wanting to tell their own stories and inspire climate action. Matthew, 13, a member of the winning team, said, "I think young people need to get involved because the world will be left to them. The problems we face now could get worse if we do not work together. I wanted to use my ICT skills to encourage others to get involved in fighting the climate crisis. It is a global problem and we need to work together to combat it." Fellow team member Callum, 13, added, "I wanted to be heard and I wanted to help in the fight against climate change. I think it is important that the younger generations use their voices to spread awareness to help combat the climate crisis and help fix the mistakes of the past." Emily Renshaw-Smith, Open Planet's Executive Director of Operations, believes it is vital that young people have the tools, access and opportunities needed to creatively and confidently tell their climate stories. "We hope the brilliant films produced for this competition inspire a new wave of young storytellers to use their voice for our planet," she said. The full library of Use Your Voice winning submissions can be viewed at protectourfuture.org/Use Your Voice winning entries. Protecting Our Future. A recent survey by 1851 Trust and environmental charity Hubbub revealed more than half of children, 51%, are worried about what the planet will be like in the future. And 70% of teachers do not feel equipped to teach about climate change effectively. The Protect Our Future education programme from 1851 Trust serves as a resource for educators, helping teachers support their students in developing essential skills in climate storytelling and science communication. Joe Gindley, 1851 Trust's CEO, said, "We want young people to feel empowered to be part of the climate conversation by giving students a platform to express their views." That article was written by Kevin McRoberts.
First Minister and SNP candidate visit Kirkintilloch Bistro. First Minister John Swinney was in Kirkintilloch on Saturday visiting Alessio's Cafe and Bistro, located at the heart of the Kirkintilloch East and North and Twecker ward in the town centre. Mr Swinney enjoyed a barista-brewed latte while chatting to customers and introducing the SNP candidate Serena Marshall for the upcoming local by-election in the ward. Ms Marshall said, "The cost of living crisis has affected a lot of our local businesses and community groups in Kirkintilloch and Twecker. It's important that we assist these local businesses and groups to recover by directing them to appropriate funding sources and business support to lift them out of financial crisis." The SNP team was pleased to see the family-run cafe and bistro thriving, with queues out the door most days and an increasingly popular social media presence. Alessio's Cafe and Bistro has enjoyed an award-winning reputation going back to picking up Start-up of the Year 2016, the Eastern Berkshire Council Business Awards, and Best Barista 2017 at the Scottish Italian Awards. The First Minister also joined the local team of activists as they campaigned in Kirkintilloch, talking to local residents and highlighting the progressive policies the SNP Scottish Government have implemented throughout Scotland, and offering his support for the local candidate Serena Marshall.
Scottish Lib Dem leader joins local campaigners. A report by Kevin McRoberts. Scottish Liberal Democrat leader Alex Cole-Hamilton was in Kirkintilloch on Friday to campaign for his party's candidate in next week's local council by-election. 8 candidates will contest the election for a councillor to represent the Kirkintilloch East and North and Twecker ward of East Dunbartonshire Council, including Marthos Christophorou for the Lib Dems, Speaking during his visit, Mr. Cole Hamilton said, "I'm delighted to be campaigning with our candidate, Marthos Christoforou. There's nothing I enjoy more than being out on the doorsteps, hearing about the issues that people care about the most. I know that Marthos will be a local champion for the area, replacing Susan Murray now that she has been elected to Westminster. The community has had great service from Susan over the past 7 years as councillor, and I know Marthos will pick up that baton and run with it. I have heard from Marthos and Susan about the failings of the SNP/Labour Council, cutting vital local services and delaying much needed upgrades to school buildings. I know that education is a massive issue in the ward, with fierce debate about where to site a new Lenzie Academy and the removal of school crossing patrollers. There are clearly major issues with road safety in the area which need immediate improvement. I want my party to be champions for education, ensuring that every young person gets the best possible start in life. In Marthos, the Lib Dems have selected a hard-working campaigner. He is already active in the community and will work closely with residents to get things done. The other candidates contesting the by-election are Eamon Gallagher, Alba Party for Independence, Satbir Kaur Gill, Scottish Conservative and Unionist, Bruce Hampton, Reform UK, Aidan Marshall, Scottish Labour Party, Serena Marshall, Scottish National Party, Alan McManus, Sovereignty, and Elizabeth Rowan, Scottish Greens. The by-election will take place on Thursday, February 13th, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Polling stations will be at Oxgang Primary, Twyker Primary, Hairstains Primary, Hillhead Community Centre and St David's Memorial Park Church Hall. That report was by Kevin McRoberts.
Family announcements. Deaths. Riley, Thomas. Sadly at home after a short illness on Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. Tucker, beloved husband of the late Anne, much loved dad, grandfather and great-grandfather. Funeral service to take place on Saturday, February 8th, 2025 at Bishopbriggs Crematorium. Arriving at 11 a.m. Family flowers only, please. Steedman, Sandy. Peacefully at Birdston Care Home on January 25th, 2025. Alexander Steedman, beloved husband of the late Jessie, much loved father of David and Walter, and a loving grandfather to Christine, Laura, and Jamie. Thanksgiving service to take place at Lenzie Union Parish Church on Monday, February 10th at 2 p.m, following a private cremation.
Healthy options are shoppers' favourites by Kevin McRoberts. Shoppers in East Dunbartonshire are eating healthily to live healthily, according to the latest data from Tesco. The supermarket giant has revealed the top 20 items bought by customers, with a variety of fruit, veg and milk being the main favourites. Included in the top 10 items bought by shoppers in the region's stores, including the Superstore in Kirkintilloch and Express outlet in Bishopbriggs, are milk, cucumbers, raspberries, broccoli, red peppers and McGee's crispy morning rolls. Tesco's figures coincide with its recently published Clubcard Unpacked review, which analyses the shopping habits of its Clubcard users. It shows the strong preference for fresh, locally sourced items among the region's residents. Una Turnbull, head of Health and Sustainable Diet Campaigns, said, The trend in what people in East Dunbartonshire are buying most of at our stores has taken more of a turn towards the healthy option. Nutrition has become important for customers, with the majority of them putting an emphasis on good quality fruit and vegetables. A lot of this is down to people having an enthusiasm for home-cooked meals and for experimenting with what they prepare in the kitchen. Also included in the top 20 items bought by shoppers in East Dunbartonshire are spring onions, red seedless grapes, strawberries, blueberries and free-range eggs. Una added, "We're all aware that eating a healthy diet can help to reduce our risk of developing coronary heart disease and stop us from gaining too much weight. That's why we at Tesco are always keen to promote the understanding that having a balance of different foods to provide all the nutrients your body needs is key when it comes to healthy living." That article was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Stories of Veterans. The Royal British Legion Scotland and Poppy Scotland are preparing for Scotland's Salute to VA Day 80th Anniversary Commemorations Concert in May this year. And as part of their preparations, they are determined to honour the lives and experiences of veterans. The two organisations are looking for remarkable stories to feature in the May the 6th concert in Edinburgh's Usher Hall to celebrate veterans' courage, sacrifices and impact. They will also be looking at ways to preserve and honour all stories received beyond this occasion. Any World War II veterans or relatives or carers of veterans who want to tell their stories for consideration should get in touch by calling 0131 550 1583 or emailing events@legionscotland.org.uk. Submissions are open until February the 14th.
From the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald's letters page, date Wednesday the 5th of February. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNScotland.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Banks are failing OAPs. Sir, it was with both disbelief and sadness that I note that a further 136 bank closures are coming. We know the phrase ill-gotten gains, but to increase profit margins by dismissing staff and installing increasingly complicated machines to disperse cash to their rightful owners is both shockingly unkind and totally uncaring. Yes, we live in a modern age, but if you look into any modern bank, you'll see client after client struggling to get their own money from some clever dick machine, and often only with the help of some member of staff. The elderly are probably the most puzzled. The ethos is all wrong. Banks should be organised for the benefit of the people who use them, not for the invisible shareholders. It will only be a matter of time before some sort of simplified national bank system will have to be launched by the government, whereby smiley and chatty human beings once again take in and give out money to their clients in high street situations. Yours, etc., Archibald A. Lowry, by email. Gravy train. Sir, the figure of £28 million has been quoted extensively as the cost of not taking up a national care service for Scotland. We have yet to be told just where and how this large sum was spent by the cash-strapped SNP administration. I don't suppose we will ever be privy to this information, but you can be assured a significant portion of the money is now lining the pockets of a small army of advisors commuting on their daily gravy train. Yours, etc., S.R. Wilde, by email. Big promises. Sir, the SNP want a debate on the waspy woman for its own political gratification. John Swinney hopes to embarrass Labour. Well, he might, but the core question is, where is the money to come from? The SNP could, of course, promise to deliver this money themselves without Westminster help, but then again, where would this money come from? Along with funding for the current SNP promises to remove the two-child benefits cap and to end Scottish child poverty. Few of us should be taken in by this crude SNP tactic, but almost all of us should be wary of a political party that promises so much, especially as it rarely, if ever, delivers. Yours, etc., Gerald Edwards, by email. Thank you. Sir, supporters in Scotland astound me with their compassion towards international communities, especially in such challenging times financially. Your donations to Sightsavers are helping reduce the global burdening of avoidable vision impairment. We all need eye health support at some point, to see the board at school, to work, for independence. Yet, access to health services varies between and within countries. We work with governments and organisations in Africa and Asia to help people in need today, while strengthening health systems so they can deliver services long into the future. Your generosity is essential to this, and the start of something wonderful for people like Wilson, a farmer and family man from Chikwawa region, Malawi. Deteriorating vision from a cataract made Wilson feel like a burden. He could not do anything at home, and his children and grandchildren missed school to help him. Surgery through a Sightsavers project had a positive impact on every area of his life. His work is back on track and the children are back in school. Thank you for helping people like Wilson. You can find out more at www.sightsavers.org. Yours, etc., Dr. Caroline Harper, CBE CEO, Sightsavers. Job losses. Sir, Rachel Reeves is Chancellor of the Exchequer, a position which is responsible for raising revenue through taxation or borrowing, and for controlling public spending. Nowhere in her job description do I see a clause about creating large-scale unemployment. This is happening now following her £25 billion tax raid on employers' national insurance contributions. Besides raising the levels to 15% from April, she also lowered the current £9,100 threshold at which employers start paying national insurance on employees' earnings to £5,000. As any competent Chancellor should have realised, companies have stopped recruiting and worse are laying off staff. Sainsbury's are cutting 3,000 jobs, and Tesco, M&S, Boots and others are reducing their staff. Scottish councils are already asking whether the national insurance increase will be met by the Scottish or UK government, especially after 8 years of an SNP freeze on council tax. Either way, taxpayers will be forced to fund it. Yours, etc., Clark Cross, by email. And that was this week's Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald's letters page, read by Ian. Tap and pay on ScotRail trains. Report by Kevin McRoberts. ScotRail is aiming to transform the way its customers travel with the launch of a new pay-as-you-go ticketing app. Available for travel initially in the Strathclyde area and routes between Strathclyde and Edinburgh, the new Tap and Pay app allows customers to experience the convenience of seamless rail travel without the need to buy tickets in advance. If successful, ScotRail will look to roll the app out more widely across the network. The app, now available for download in app stores, enables easy, ticket-free travel using a single-use barcode. The app works by generating a single-use barcode that can be scanned at ticket gates and on mobile devices in the same way as the train operator's existing M-tickets. Customers' journey details are logged in by scanning the barcode, with the app identifying the origin and destination station through location mapping. At the end of the journey, the Tap and Pay app will automatically calculate and charge the best available fare based on the journey made and time of travel. To ensure customers are provided with the best value fare, those making multiple trips on the same route over a week will never pay more than the cost of a weekly season ticket. However, better value fares may be available from booking tickets in advance, such as through advance fares, split ticketing, flexi passes or monthly and annual season tickets. Claire Dickey, ScotRail Commercial Director, said, ScotRail is committed to improving the travel experience for our customers. The tap and pay system provides a smarter, more convenient way to travel, ensuring customers have a seamless travel experience and receive their best value fare for their journeys. We are excited to offer more customers the chance to travel without the need to pre-purchase tickets in this next phase of the trial. The tap and pay app has been developed by software company Traxis. Chris Barnes, Chief Executive Officer, said, Traxis has a long track record of working with the rail industry to deliver innovative technology solutions, and this is reflected in the recent nomination of the Tap and Pay app for Ticketing Technology of the Year at Transport Ticketing Global 2025. And that report was written by Kevin McRoberts. Drug dealer caught at train station is jailed. This report is unattributed. A drug dealer who was caught with a suitcase full of cannabis has been jailed. Chuan Hua Lin, 40, was spotted acting suspiciously by British Transport Police's County Lines Task Force on September the 12th, 2024, while he waited for a train to Glasgow Preston railway station. As officers approached him, he attempted to keep them away from his large suitcase. During the search of the suitcase, they found cannabis worth up to £225,000 stored in vacuum sealed bags. Lynn, of Liddensdale Road, Glasgow, admitted possession with intent to supply, Class B. At Preston Crown Court, he was jailed for 6 months. Sergeant Mark Books, investigating officer, said, Our teams deploy across the UK to detect and disrupt county lines activity. Officers are skilled at noticing behaviours that will make criminals stand out from everyday passengers, and we will ensure they are brought to justice. And that report was unattributed.
Chance to get on board with the EDLC Trust. Eastern Bartonshire Leisure and Culture Trust, EDLCT, has a vacancy for an independent director. The new director will work with EDLC Trust Board to oversee the delivery of local leisure and cultural services, with facilities including 3 leisure centres, a sports hub, 8 libraries, a museum and an art gallery, as well as Kirkintilloch Town Hall and Kilmerdinny House in Bearsden. The qualified candidate should be knowledgeable in either both leisure and cultural services and skilled in a profession such as finance and audit or another capacity that will add value and support to the board. On average, the new director will serve on the trust board and subgroups around 8 days a year, with board meetings taking place in the evening, usually in Bearsden or Kirkintilloch. An application pack is available by emailing Maeve Kilcoyne at Maeve, M-A-E-V-E, .Kilcoyne, Kilcoyne, at easternbarton.gov.uk.
Wednesday, 5th of February, Church News. Kirkintilloch Church of God at Regent Hall, Regent Street on Wednesday. Our coffee corner is open from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Join our friends and neighbours for home baking and coffee. Our next Sunday service is a good news service on Sunday, February the 16th at 4 p.m. A warm welcome is extended to all. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. That's www.regenthall.org. Jesus said, I am the door. By me if any man enter in, he shall be saved. John chapter 10 verse 9. Lenzie Old Parish Church. Sunday worship is at 11 a.m. A creche is available for children under 3. The Quilt and Craft Group meet every Wednesday 10 a.m. to 12 noon in the session room. Thursday Afternoon Club is on Thursday, February 13th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy tea, coffee and home baking, followed by a game of Scrabble, Dominoes, Rummy Cub or Uno. If preferred, you can sit back and chat and or do your knitting. There are books for sale and any donations go to Women's Aid. Scottish Country Dancing is on every Thursday, 7:15 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Come along for fun, fitness and friendship. You will be made very welcome. Kenmure Parish Church. Church of Scotland reader Mr Isaac McCleary will lead our Sunday morning worship beginning at 11 a.m. Visitors to the area will be made welcome when they join us for our services. You can attend either in person or online on our YouTube channel. The service on YouTube can be watched live as it is streamed or later at a time that suits you. You can find our channel by simply searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. There will be a period of fellowship following the service in the hall when teas, coffees, juice and biscuits are served. The most up-to-date details of all of our groups that are currently running may be found on the What's On section of our website, kenmure-church.co.uk. That's KENMURE-CHURCH.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. Lenzie Union Parish Church. The Sunday service is at 11 a.m. Young people are also welcome at Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service will be available on YouTube. We also have the meeting place open for tea and coffee and home baking every Wednesday 10 a.m. to 12 noon in the new hall. Everyone, from the very young to the young at heart, is welcome to attend. We also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. LUPC Bridge Club is on Wednesdays in the Old Hall, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Come play this classic game. The coffee pot opens on Fridays for tea, coffee, home baking. A warm, friendly atmosphere for all ages. Messy Church is on Saturday, February the 8th, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the new hall. Everyone is welcome to come along to a fun-filled hour. Challenges, crafts and experiments. Monday, February the 10th, The Cafe, 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the Old Hall. Information, entertainment and a time to relax and chat for those living with dementia. Bring a friend or carer. Home Church Scotland, Lammermoor Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 2AB. Home Church Kirkintilloch, Home Church East End, Carmyle G32 8DP. Home Church Skilmorley, new and online, a church for all ages. For the Lord your God will hold your right hand, saying to you, Fear not, I will be with you. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 13. Sunday, February the 9th, 9:30am and 11:30am. Worship service followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either service, which will be identical. There is also a creche and Sunday school. Evening service at various locations at 6:30 p.m. Monday, ladies' prayer meeting 7 p.m. Read through the Bible discussion on Zoom every fortnight at 8 p.m. Tuesday, Zoom Bible study 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday, prayer and Bible study groups in the church and online. Thursday, prayer meeting in church at 7 a.m, football 7:30 p.m. Fridays, youth group 7:30 p.m, prayer meeting 7:30 p.m. Home radio is available every day. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for the latest information for Carmyle, Home Kitchen Cafe Church, Skilmorley and Kirkintilloch. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs, Rector Reverend Canon Paul Watson, 0141 230 4080. There is communion service in the chapel on Thursday, February the 6th at 11 a.m. and on Sunday, February the 9th at 9 a.m. and at 10:30 a.m. with hymns in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea, coffee and fellowship after the 10:30am Sunday service. On Tuesday, February 11th, 1pm to 3pm, Tuesday club meeting. Lunch followed by a talk by Sue Milne from Gavin's Mill. £3 donation at the door. All are welcome to come along. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, refer to our social media, Facebook, St James LS Bishopbriggs, website www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, February the 9th will begin at 11am as usual and be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. There will be age-appropriate activities for our young people in the church halls during the service. Wednesday welcome will continue Wednesday, February the 5th, beginning at 10am until 11:30am, when tea, coffee and home baking will be available. This is followed by a short service taken by the Reverend Ruth Morrison. The first of our monthly open doors for 2025 will also take place on Wednesday, February the 5th, when the church will be open from 10:30am until 3:30pm. Tea and coffee will be available in church during this time. Musical entertainment will be available from 12:30pm, when Mrs Sally McClellan accompanies Mr John Thompson on the piano as he entertains us by singing a variety of love songs. Torrens Parish Church. The morning service, in person, is at 10:30am, conducted by Reverend Stuart Irvin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in creche, junior touch and FOROG. To join the service, go to www.torrensparishchurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday, 9am till 12 noon for tea, coffee and delicious home baking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The Boys Brigade meet on Wednesday, 7pm to 9pm, P7 to S6. To find out about regular weekly activities, check the website for what's on at www.tpc.org.uk. Milton of Campsie Parish Church. We had a great turnout for our annual fishing film night when we watched Hidden Figures, the story of 3 black women and the space race. Following on the Great Garden Birdwatch, we're getting ready for our next Go Mad extra called 2 a Penny on February 23rd. Yes, it will be Sparrow related. We'll be having our own Unity celebration with St Paul's, St Mackin's and Campsie churches during the second week of March. More details needed nearer the time. Our minister, Julie, is now interim moderator at St David's Park Church in Kirkintilloch, and we begin union negotiations with Campsie Church. Meantime, Cafe Connect is on Tuesdays, 9:30am till 12 noon. Time to pray on Wednesday at 7pm in the Eric Liddell, and the Guild and Fellowship hear about Gail and Bert Main's work with Mary's Meals. On Friday at 6:15pm, BB Anchor and Junior sections. Next Sunday, February 9th, we meet for worship at 11am. Monday at 9:45am, Baby and Toddler Group. At 2pm, Hobbies Club. 7:30pm, Badminton Club. And that was this week's church news, date Wednesday, February the 5th. Wednesday the 5th of February, District News General. Wood Walks Good for Children. To help promote Children's Mental Health Week, Forestry and Land Scotland is inviting families and young people to visit a forest and find out that a woodland walk works wonders. The theme for 2025, Know Yourself, Grow Yourself, aims to give young people the space to boost their self-awareness and build on their self-esteem. The FLS website gives current information about forests. Visitors are advised to always check before heading out. Physical activity improves health and promotes positive thinking. Mixed with fresh air, trees to brighten the mood and the peaceful calmness that alleviates stress, anxiety and the pressures of daily life. Holyrood View. Record funds provided to help NHS by Rona Mackay MSP. The NHS plays a vital role in all our lives, there when we and our families need it. That's why we care about it so much. Improving patients' experience of our NHS is vitally important to the SNP Scottish Government, which is why it announced a record £21 billion funding for health and care frontline services in the Scottish budget. The plans outlined last week for NHS renewal by First Minister John Swinney will make a real difference to people in my constituency, ensuring they get the care they require in good time by making it easier to get a GP appointment and cutting waiting times. The First Minister announced plans to deliver more than 150,000 extra appointments and procedures, as well as a £10.5 million increase in funding for GPs and a pledge to invest a greater proportion of new NHS funding to primary and community care. Whilst the UK Labour Government has hit the NHS and care services with increases in national insurance contributions, the SNP is backing the NHS with record funding and a clear path for renewal. And that is a mission that I know people in Strathkelvin and Bearsden will be able to get behind. It has once again been an incredibly busy month in my constituency, dealing with constituents' concerns and visiting local rail organisations. Storm Eowyn, one of the strongest storms in a generation, swept through East Dunbartonshire just over a week ago, causing disruption and damage locally and across Scotland. My constituents at Balmore were badly affected, with around 100 homes in the village left without power for several days. I was particularly concerned for elderly residents, and after contacting Scottish Power urgently on their behalf, was assured that investigations were being stepped up and villagers would be reimbursed for hotel accommodation and hot food. The storm brought home to us that we are not immune in this area from truly life-threatening weather. The world's climate is becoming increasingly fragile, and the Scottish Government is doing all it can to tackle the twin crises of climate change and biodiversity loss. If you need any assistance, please contact my team at 0141 776 1561 or email rona.mackay.msp@parliament.scot. That's RONA.MACKEAY.MSP @Parliament.scot. St Columba's Men's Club. At 7:30pm every Monday, St Columba's Men's Club meets in the Church Hall in Old Isle Road, Kirkintilloch, and offers a very warm welcome, together with the chance to play a bit of pool, or snooker, dominoes, or even some table tennis, or just enjoy a cup of coffee or tea and a chat. Members come from all around. If you would like more details, contact either Ian Gibb on 0141 776 5453 or Jim Kennedy on 07767 124 416. Miss V requires a calm home. Meet Miss V, a beautiful 5-year-old collie. Miss V is a sensitive girl who has some anxieties and can find the world a scary place. She is looking for a calm, confident and understanding best friend to support her, and once she has built a strong bond with you, your relationship will blossom. In order to build that bond, multiple meets will be required at the rehoming centre. Once you are friends, she will quickly entertain you with all her funny playstyles and will happily show off her ball skills. Miss V is awaiting a home where she is the only pet. She requires a fully secure garden with a private driveway so that she can continue her homework and getting in your car. For more information, go to www.dogstrust.org.uk. And that was this week's District News General, date Wednesday the 5th. Sport. Kieran makes a real splash. Picture of Kieran goaling with Olympic champion Duncan Scott. 12-year-old Kieran Golan has raised more than £1,000 for charity after completing a 5k swimming challenge at the Leisuredrome in Bishopbriggs. Kieran was inspired by his swimming teacher David Walker and Olympic athlete Duncan Scott to make a donation to Marie Curie in memory of his great aunt. He previously completed Learn to Swim lessons, a national framework delivered in partnership by Scottish Water and Scottish Swimming. The framework's vision is to create Generation Swim, a generation of confident, safer and competent swimmers who experience the wider health and social benefits swimming can offer. Each week, around 81,000 children and adults take part in Learn to Swim lessons nationwide. Walker, Swimming Development Officer at Eastern Bartonshire Leisure and Culture, said, "Kieran initially told me about his plan to swim 100 lengths, which was already impressive. But he then came back to me and said he had decided to double it to 200. This is no easy task, and it showed his determination and self-motivation. It's rare to see a child his age with such endurance and motivation, especially one not in a swimming club. What Kieran achieved is truly remarkable. As a teacher, you hope to inspire your pupils, but it's amazing to see the impact and to watch them turn around that inspiration into action. Being there on the day of the challenge is a moment I'll never forget." Olympic, World and Commonwealth champion Scott is an ambassador for the Learn to Swim framework. Kieran had the chance to meet him after he'd been named Swimmer of the Month at an event to promote the programme at the Leisure Dome in 2023. Scott is Scotland's most decorated Olympian with 8 medals across 3 games and was made an OBE in the New Year's Honours list. He said, "Kieran's story is truly inspiring. Completing 200 lengths at 12-year-old is an incredible achievement. I want to congratulate Kieran on completing this challenge. With the way his swimming is progressing, I'm confident we'll be hearing his name again in the future. Swimming is such a vital skill, and stories like this highlight the importance of the Learn to Swim framework in developing confidence in young people across Scotland." Kieran's mum Fiona expressed her pride after he raised a total of £1,044 for the charity, which provided end-of-life care to her aunt last summer. She said, "This challenge meant so much to us all, because of the brilliant care Marie Curie gave to my aunt, who had been battling cancer for some time. Kieran wanted to give back, and this was his way of showing his appreciation. I'm incredibly proud of what he has achieved." Drowning prevention remains a key focus of the Learn to Swim programme, equipping children with essential water safety skills to stay safe in pools, at the beach and around Scotland's rivers and coastlines. John Lunn, CEO of Scottish Swimming, said, "Kieran's story shows how the Learn to Swim programme inspires young people to achieve amazing things. It's fantastic to see how Kieran's love for swimming inspired him to take on this incredible 5-kilometre challenge. He is an inspiration to us all. Not only has he raised money for a cause so close to his heart, but he's also shown how swimming can build confidence, resilience and a real sense of purpose." And that article was written by Brian Yule. Match finally goes ahead as Rob Roy into the last 8. This article is unattributed. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy are through to the quarter-finals of the South Challenge Cup at the 3rd time of asking. Their visit to Glasgow United was postponed twice, but on Saturday it was finally able to go ahead as Rob Roy ran out 2-1 winners. 2 goals in the first half from Jordan Scott and Jamie Bowman were enough to hand him an away tie with Auchinleck. Rob Roy boss John Gibson told the club's media team, "It was good to get a win. I said before the game the most important thing was to get into the next round, and we've done that. I think playing in a smaller park maybe helped us a little. Both our goals came from distance, which is pleasing, but I think the fact we had less space on the pitch was a factor in that. We've seen before that a 2-goal lead doesn't mean much at this level, so I felt we really needed a 3rd goal in the second half to make it safe. Even though we didn't get that 3rd goal, I still thought we closed out the game well." Other West of Scotland results. First Division, Ashfield 0, Cumbernauld United 3. Second Division, Caledonian Locomotives 1, Larkhall Thistle 1. Third Division, Lugar Boswell Thistle 1, Glasgow Perthshire 0. Fourth Division, BSC Glasgow 0, Rossvale 9. West Park United 2, Knightswood 3. Saturday fixtures: First Division, Cumbernauld United vs Petershill, Vale of Clyde vs Kirkintilloch Rob Roy. Second Division, Kilsyth Rangers vs Caledonian Locomotives. Third Division, Glasgow Perthshire vs Kilsyth Athletic. And the article was unattributed and it was read by me, Ian. Your Guide to the Best Golf Courses. Report by Martin Dempster. Scotland is a country every serious golfer around the world wants to visit at some point, and that, of course, is no surprise whatsoever. We are, after all, the home of golf, and getting that chance to hit a wee white ball in a Scotland golf course such as St Andrews or Troon is a dream come true for players from all over the world. For Scots themselves, little advice needs to be given when it comes to suggesting a list of golf courses to play, but that's not necessarily the case for people from further afield. It was a real thrill, therefore, to be asked to curate our special newsletter series, The Scotsman Official Guide to the Scottish Golf Courses You Must Play. That's a list of 10 courses that I put in anyone's Scottish golf course wish list. Make no mistake, it was a difficult list to compile because 10 isn't a big number when you're choosing from a course collection of around 550. However, 3 or 4 were what you probably describe in football, soccer to some, as open goals, because they are simply places that need to be ticked off if you're a serious golfer. It was also fun, though, to include a couple that may not be too familiar with people from, say, the US or Far East, and that's the beauty of Scotland's collection of courses. Yes, it's a fantastic thrill to be able to walk into the footsteps of Open champions and AIG Women's Open winners on the likes of St Andrews Old Course, Carnoustie, Muirfield and Royal Troon. It can be just as exciting, though, to find yourself on one of the hidden gem courses, because you will still be facing a great test when chances are you'll be enjoying some mouth-watering scenery. When you sign up for the newsletter for a one-off payment of £9.99, you'll receive 12 in total, giving you an in-depth guide to our golf course selections. Each guide includes amazing photos with a special focus on the course's signature hole, as well as how to book a round and how much it will cost. There's also info on the clubhouse, the course pro, where to stay, how to get there and loads more. The Scotsman Official Guide to the Scottish Golf Courses You Must Play is available by visiting www.scotsman.com/newsletter/premium. And the article was written by Martin Dempster. Whelan extended her stay at City until 2028. Report by Brian Yule. Irish forward Emily Whelan has signed a new long-term deal with Glasgow City, keeping her at the club until the summer of 2028. Whelan signed from Birmingham City ahead of the 2022-23 campaign and helped secure the SWPL 1 title on the final day of the season. Capped 9 times by the Republic of Ireland, the 22-year-old has scored 32 goals in 89 appearances during her time in Springburn. Whelan said, "I'm very excited to be staying at City. I have developed a lot both as a player and as a person, and I'm keen to continue to do that at the best place for me. I love Glasgow. I like where I live, and the people are very similar to those back in Ireland. I have family here too, so it really does feel like home. The club means a lot to me. It has values that align a lot with mine. It's somewhere I come into every day and I know I'm going to learn and I know I'm going to develop. That's thanks to what Leanne and all the staff do, and also to the players I get to share a dressing room with. It really does feel like a family." Head coach Leanne Ross was pleased to secure Whelan's services for the next 2.5 years, both for her impact on the pitch and her personality off of it. She said, "Emily is a fantastic person to have at the club. She has an infectious personality that welcomes people into our world with kindness and positivity. We've got aspirations for her to kick on even further, and I'm looking forward to working with her for the years to come." City are through to the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup with a 3-2 win at home to Celtic on Sunday. Lee Gibson made 2 good saves early on to keep the scoreline blank, but the visitors took the lead after 19 minutes through Lucy Ashworth-Clifford's long-range effort. However, it only took City 5 minutes to equalise when Whelan was brought down in the box and Brenna Oliveira scored from the spot. Kimberly Smith then thought she had put the home side in front, but was penalised for handball, and it was Celtic who restored their advantage when Claire Walsh put the ball into her own net. 4 minutes after the break, City would be level once more when Samantha Van Diemen headed in a Hayley Lauder corner. In the 56th minute, they then turned the tie around completely as Nicole Kozlova set up Lovera to grab what would prove to be the winner. Lovera told the club's media team, "It was definitely a battle, but I certainly enjoyed it. We got off to a bit of a slow start, but found our way back in with the penalty, and then came out firing in the second half. We started doing what we are good at with pace intensity, and I'm proud of the performance we put in. It is back to league action this Sunday as City entertain Montrose, now only ahead of Celtic on goal difference in the SWPL 1 table. Gloucester women had no game at the weekend and returned to action in the SWPL 2 tonight, Wednesday, at home to Boroughmuir Thistle. They will then take to the road this Sunday for a trip to Gartcairn." And that report was written by Brian Yule.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.